Hi, it's math time with Mrs. Depperschmidt. Today we're going to work with multiplying bigger numbers by a one-digit number when there is regrouping involved. That means that we have too many items in one of the place value columns, so we need to regroup and move them over to a higher place value column. We'll start with the problem 1,237 multiplied by 4. Which looks like this when I write it. I've left lots of space so that our our illustration will have room in between the columns. This number is 1,237, and we need to multiply it by 4 and find out how much that is. To start with, I've drawn a picture of 4 groups of 1,237. Starting in the ones column, you'll see that 4 groups of 7 are lined up right over here. Here's a group of 7 going down, another group of 7 going down, a third group of 7, and a fourth group. Each column is a group of 7 ones, represented here in the equation by 4 groups of 7. Then I've done the multiplication with 4 groups of 30 in the tens place. You can see that I've drawn 30 4 different times because that's what multiply by 4 is. As we move to the hundreds column, I've drawn 4 groups of 200. And all the way over to the thousands, I've drawn 4 groups of 1,000. So I've actually completely calculated the answer to this problem. However, we can't express it the way the picture is. We need to regroup. As you can see, there are way too many ones in the ones column, which are the result of 4 groups of 7, which is equal to 28. When we have 28 ones in the ones column, we need to regroup and make some tens. I know that 28 is the same as 2 tens, so I'm going to box around 2 tens so that we can regroup. Now I've regrouped in the ones column. We have 2 groups of 10 and 8 left over. What needs to happen now is that these regrouped sets of ones are going to migrate to the tens column. They've grouped up together to make a 10, and now they're going to jump next door. I'll indicate that with an arrow. They no longer reside in the ones column because there were too many to make just ones. And with those, we get 2 extra or additional tens. I'll show those in black. Now in the tens column, we have way too many tens to express that number with digits. Partly because we have 4 groups of 3, which make 12 tens, but now we have 2 more tens with it, which makes a total of 14. You know that we'll group 10 tens together. Like so. They combine to make another 100, and that puts another 100 in the hundreds column. I'll indicate that with another black dot, and I'll show that those 10 tens have migrated by Xing through the box that contains them. Now let's see what we have in the hundreds column. We know that 4 groups of 200 makes 800, and now we have 1 more with. That's 900s. We don't need to regroup. And we also know that 4 groups of 1,000 makes 4,000, and there's no regrouping necessary. So when we've correctly multiplied and regrouped this problem, the answer is 4,948. And I just read that directly off the place value chart. Now I'll demonstrate how to do this same problem without a diagram on the place value chart. Here it is, shown just in digits. We have 1,237 multiplied by 4. And I know that 4 groups of 7 are 28. We have 8 ones left over, and the 20 migrate to the tens column as 2 more tens. Next we say 4 groups of 30 is 120. With 2 more tens, that makes 140. And that's going to look like this. Here's our 40. Now our 100 is shown in the hundreds column as a regrouped 100, and I've drawn it up here with the 200s that were already there. Okay, next we say 4 groups of 200 makes 800, but we need to add the 100 that came over, so together that gives us 900s. And now we do 4 groups of 1,000, and we know that to be 4,000. We have no regrouping, nothing to carry over from the hundreds, and our final answer is 4,948. I would encourage you to practice some multiplication with regrouping on problems that you and your family create yourself. I'd love for you to bring them to school and share them with the class. Multiplication with regrouping is a little bit complicated, but as you get more and more comfortable with your multiplication facts, I think you'll enjoy it and it will get easier and easier. Keep working. You're doing a great job. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and please remember to be kind.